everybody, what's happening? Welcome to another edition of Mr. Parker's Neighborhood. I'm here with this man right here, Mr. James King Sr. We're going to get into a little bit more about that, but first of all, welcome to Mr. Parker's Neighborhood, sir.
I am glad to be a part of Mr. Parker's Neighborhood, and I'm so glad and delighted that I was invited to Mr. Parker's Neighborhood, sir.
All right, well, first and foremost, we do a thing here where I have the viewers that tune in try to guess what it is you do. So here we go. Here y'all go first. A, is he a football coach? B, is he a news promoter? C, is he in the educational field? Or D, none of the above? All right, don't even worry about it. Y'all guess wrong again. Dr. King, tell them what it is you do, sir.
All right, my name is James A. King Sr. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a grandpa. I am all of the above that I just mentioned. Also, I am a child of God. I am a person that I believe that everybody is everyone who they claim to be and what they want to be. Therefore, we should not judge or be judgmental of one each other. We should just try to capture the moment that we spend with each other and move forward. That's who I am.
See, now, that's why I love the man the way I do. So we know who James King says he is right now, but we're going to learn how James King got to be where he is by asking him a few questions. So we've got all the preliminaries out the way, Mr. James King Sr. Now we finna do it right.
Well, come on.
What's up, big brother James?
That's where it all started,
Hey,
Doc.
that's up. Hey,
Okay, so let me reverse the wheel. My family moved out in the Riverview Garden School District in 1976. Okay, I'm the last of 5 boys. My mom and daddy had 5 boys. I'm the baby. Born July 5th, 1966 at 2:41 p.m. Very important you guys know that. So look at your birth certificates. But I was in tune to an area that we was not welcome in North County back then. We was in what I guess they call, it wasn't Castle Point. It was like North County / unincorporated North County off of Viscount. Yeah. Some say Viscount. It's Viscount. Therefore, I was able to date my high school sweetheart at the age of 12, hopped over 2 fences, and they welcomed me in, and I have not been the same since. But thus, we had a background and we had a foundation of who we were as people and how we were being raised. It was a mother, a father, a grandfather, a grandmother on both sides of this fence. And when you have structure, you have an outcome that you just don't realize till you get older and you understand and you respect that. And we try to move forward with that. Thus, I've raised 2 children, Victoria LaCrystal, James Adalbert King II. Okay? The only bad thing, they went to Hazelwood East, and I ain't mad at them. They was in review for a moment, but whoa. I am a graduate of 1984 Riverview Garden High School. I was able to attain an athletic scholarship to the University of Mississippi. Ole Miss.
Hold up. Yeah, nah, we ain't getting there yet. We go.
I'm sorry. You told me to tell the story.
Oh, we gonna tell it. I just want to make. We can't go that fast. They don't want to have that fast. So, okay, growing up, like you said,
I work for the government, man. Everything we do in the government move fast.
like you said, though, being that you lived on Viscount, where they call Hathaway Manor sometimes too, based on who you're asking. When you stayed over there, being in that, like you say, in that area to where you were able to go in the neighborhood and hang out with people in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, you met your girlfriend, your wife.
The people in the neighborhood, man. We were at the time. You got to remember, we were coming off the extension of our parents.
Yeah.
So our neighbors, as I was, a child being reared up to be a young adult, a teenager, they could check us, and then our family would be like, "Okay, what did he do wrong?" Well, he's running off the roof and jumping off of it. What is wrong with that boy? But there was no there was no malice involved with that correction of behavior from my parents, from the neighbor.
Right. Yeah.
So therefore, we was reared, once again, I'm gonna keep using this word, reared
Yes, sir.
in a manner where the your neighbors was part of your family.
Yes, sir.
So therefore, you got more than one whooping. I'm gonna cross across the field as Pastor say, you got more than one whooping. You got the whooping from the neighbor, you got the whooping from your parents, and if you went over your grandmother's house, you might have got a third whooping for jumping off the roof. I mean, I hope I paraphrased that well. Cecil.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now also in that whole story piece, now, like you said, back then, being in that neighborhood, growing up in the neighborhood, like I said, I moved to Castle Point in 80, 81. We was on count in Castle Point. Going through there, like I said, before we got to high school, the neighborhood itself, you had sections that was us and them. And they let you know it's us and them. Also, so in growing up and making friends, even with them, white people, how did you go in school-wise? How was that for y'all to come through going to Riverview at that point in time?
Well, that's a very great question. Let me expound on that because our parents did not teach racism. Racism is a behavior that is taught. So if you don't know about racism, you haven't been taught it. So how do you identify with it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So when you see it, you go back home and be like, Mom and Dad, they stole my glove. And this is a very true story.
Yes, sir.
When
yes,
I was
sir.
trying out for the baseball team,
Mm-hmm.
because I was not warranted to be on that team. Therefore, I went back to the track and field. That's my senior year because he already has too much going on, is what I was told by the football tip. I was also told I would never play basketball for Riverview Garden High School. But guess what happened? I became the starting forward in the center for Riverview Garden basketball as my senior year and played with some of the greatest athletes
Yes,
that
sir.
ever crossed the threshold of the Riverview Garden School District.
Yes,
Carly
sir.
Strickland,
Yes, sir.
Arthur Ford,
Yes, sir.
Mike Merkson. I could go back. Nathan Mitchell, Bledsoe. Boy, you better watch out now. See, you get ready to make me. You get ready to make me get real personal up in this.
I'm going. Look, I'm going there.
But these are the people that came. These are the people that came before me that therefore laid a foundation.
Yes, sir.
To build a house, you got to lay the bricks.
Yes, sir.
And once the bricks are laying, then we can only go up. Okay, go ahead.
So now, based on that, in junior high, when did you actually get into sports?
8th grade. 8th grade. I didn't play Little League. I always played my I guess my pee-wee football was with my cousins on Edsel and Goodfella on the west side when I got knocked to a fence and they had to pull my big tail out and be like, oh my God, y'all, did y'all just put my little cousin in the fence? So I didn't play organized football as a child.
Okay.
I played organized kid as a child. I was a bad little son of a gun. Can't say what I wanted to say, as Bernie Mac would say. I was bad. Had nappy hair, bad, but we was taught to go to church every Sunday where I learned how to read.
Yes, sir.
In Sunday school.
Okay. Okay.
That's how I learned how to read in Sunday school, brother.
Wow.
Real talk, Cecil. But now moving forward, I didn't 8th grade, Mr. Anthony Dinatale said, we want you to go with us to the park. What park? I didn't know there was a trail from Riverview Central up to Bellefontaine, watch this, park behind City Hall, that all of that's connected through the Maline. It ain't Moline Creek, it's Maline Creek. And you go up in there and they were up there hitting and doing everything. And I was like, well, can I try? When I tried, I didn't have a mouthpiece in my mouth and I slipped my tongue. They could not report that.
Right.
Because I was not supposed to be there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I get home to Johnny Allen, my mama lost her mind. My baby boy mouth is split open because of some football. I said, Mama, I'm okay. Dad put some gauze in there and they kind of stitched it up. without anesthetic, I was like, y'all gonna put a needle in my mouth? And guess what? Look, same time today.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes,
sorry,
sir.
Dirty. I keep it real. I keep it 100, Dirty. Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's why I had to be on it, because hey, that's all we got going. So
But that was part of the racism that I seen that I was really not accustomed to, because the parents didn't teach us that.
right.
Yes, sir.
So like I said, so Dinatelli really was your very first coach.
Dinatelli had us running up a hill with a clock, with a stop clock in his hand, right? At Review Central.
Yes, sir.
Right behind the administration building. And if you didn't get up that hill in so many seconds, it did not count. But what if the hill is muddy, coach? Don't care. Got to get up that hill. So he set the tone about being engaged and being involved. Is this something you want to do? If not, try something else.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, try something else.
Man, that's wild.
Yes, sir.
But like you said, and then so from there, when you actually get to high school, do you play? What sports did you play from the giddy up in high school?
Well, I played football, and they was angry at me as a freshman in 9th grade that I got moved up to varsity with Bob Greco that played with the Detroit Lions back in the day.
Right.
Woo, 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 woo. He hit me so hard, I lost my mind. I had to get it back to the next play because the next play is coming. So I'm like, what dog? They hit this hard? Really? Okay, let me get myself together.
Yes, sir.
And the class of '84, and this is so important, you got to remember, we were some prodigy kids, not for us our athletic ability, but just being young men that came together. Von Long, Hank Lacey, Fred Croft, Anthony Stewart, DeWitt Campbell was 83, Gary Smith, Ben Brocknax was our quarterback.
Yeah.
You gotta understand, Tom Whitehead, Paul Greco. I could just keep going and on and on and on. That formed a union under Coach Nicastro,
right?
DeSoto,
Jim
Greco, God rest his soul. And our athletic director was George Norman, God rest his soul. And there was a union that was formed, that a bond that we still have today, the ones that's here. It has never changed, which bring along your group.
Yes, sir.
And after your group,
yes, sir.
Y'all was like, wow, these cats special.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And like I said, and that's why I want to come in and say right there, because of you and the brothers you named beforehand, y'all, I mean, we talking about our first week in practice. We in the locker room after practice over. We in the ha. And all of a sudden we hear, man, they fighting. We run outside. It's the first week of high school. We run outside and there's a car pulled up and dudes is talking, yada, yada, yada. And we see you and Vince Spike and all them go to the car. And these brothers are chased off the Riverview campus and left a car. We like, dude, this is high school. This is our freshman week. We haven't seen it like this. And y'all came back and said, don't let nobody ever come to your house talking stuff. Yes, sir. Yeah. And
well, you got to remember, Cecil, our parents taught us what goes on Viscount, what goes on Edgefield, Canfield, Cedarhurst, Royal, Duke, Count, Royal, Lord, it stays in your house.
That's
right. Don't bring in outside stuff that could destroy your domain. Well, guess what? Those are basic principles of life, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, our parents had an idea what was going on. Now, let me start it up. Yeah.
So like I was saying, the main thing is when one day we were doing after practice, y'all came in for freshman initiation, as we later called it. And y'all had us in there and they said, all right, it's three things y'all gotta understand. One, y'all are Rams. This is your house. Two, you don't let nobody beat you at home. Three, we family, regardless of what happens, those brothers in here is your family as long as y'all playing ball and even after that, because y'all are family. And the last thing y'all gonna learn today is we run this, so get against the wall because it's coming.
Hey, Cecil, I remember that, but I remember somebody got out of line and we put their tail in a locker.
Yeah.
And they was like, they put me in a locker. But you still can breathe, just calm down.
That was it. That was it. But like I said, and I mean, it was so much given at that point in time to where, like I said, y'all did some things, and like that, and y'all showed us even in that how, because me, Chris Cannon, Chuck Watson, hey, it was like, all right, back to back. And we was like, they coming. And y'all said, that's how y'all do it.
And you know what, Cecil, you know what's real good and what's great about what we've done and what our parents did for us? We have taken it into our adult life.
Yeah.
And those and that general background, the blueprint, the blueprint was set.
Yes,
we
sir.
just followed the blueprint that was set in front of us.
Right.
And our children, and right now I have 5 grandchildren. We're trying to distill in them, you can't act like this when you not supposed to act like that, right? Wherever you may be.
Mm-hmm.
And with me being of a child of faith, I have gathered more information that I did when I was a young man.
Gotcha.
And if I would have got that information, well, if I would have understood the information was there. I didn't receive it. But as I've gotten older, I have received the information about our spirituality and the family and the heritage of all that once has went through, male or female.
Yeah.
This is not a gender bias thing.
Right. You
It's a
good.
thing that happens in life, brother.
You good.
Yes, sir. So let not the audience be naive about, well, he's talking about the time that this happened. No, it's present.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Present day event that we're living.
Yes, sir.
So I appreciate the opportunity, man. Let me expound on my life, man. I hope I didn't go overboard with some things.
No, you good, cause we ain't through. Like I said, that was freshman year. I mean, like I said, and then for after the season's over with, we did our thing. We protected home, but then myself, Chris Cannon, and I want to say, I think it was Damon. I don't know who else, but we got put up to varsity for the last couple of games to get a feel on varsity. The practice we had, and I had to come up against Tom Whitehead first, and then they pushed me and Chris to come up against you and Tom. It was like, yeah, okay, we got killed, but it was the fact of y'all taught us this is how y'all catch it, and when y'all getting it from us, that means the next crew y'all gonna kill them, and we became that guard and tackle, that defensive end, defensive tackle. Right. From that point on, there wasn't nobody stopping. They was talking about it like a champ. They knew one thing: Riverview was gonna bring out the killers. And I want to thank you and Tom for that, because y'all instilled in us to do whenever we up front. Don't be scared about nobody, because all they gonna do is either hit you or you gonna hit them. And that was the thing that you taught us, and I kept that in my being from that point on, to where if I can do it, I'm gonna do it. Give it my best. That's all I can do. And I'm telling you, Jimmy, like I say, Jimmy, you don't understand. Being around y'all helped mold us to be those kind of fellas who we made it our point to where whatever we did on that campus was representing y'all. When y'all graduated, when y'all came back, it was like, all right, y'all still winning. Y'all still family. That's what we talking about.
Right.
And I mean, and then, brother, we gotta take a few minutes to say, Your daddy, man, that was I do. Dr. King had
Fired up.
everybody.
Watch this. Fired up.
That was,
Fired up. Huh? Can you hear me,
hey,
Cecil?
that was it. Hey, that was it.
Fired up.
Our freshman year, we sitting there watching y'all play. Yeah, yeah. And it got quiet. And also you hear, fired up. We're like, who daddy is that? We like, that's Mr. King. We're like, okay. When you
That's
left,
John Henry. That was
when
John
you left,
Henry.
he would come to our games. I mean, he came to our games still support. We like, all right, Mr. King here. How you know? You hear this? Listen. Fired up. We like, yeah. And that spirit, man, that spirit just kept us going. And like I said, to be there and see you receive your scholarship to Ole Miss, bruh, that was major because we could say, I know somebody who got a full ride to Ole Miss. He's playing for real. He's playing against Alabama. That's the game. And I mean, thank you again, bro, because you always show how to be that fella.
Yes,
That's
sir.
the picture.
Yes,
That's
sir.
the picture.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Sorry about that.
But that's all right. But yeah, like I said, that you
gotta
showed
remember,
us.
man, my dad.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
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 And guess what today is?
What?
My mother and father's wedding anniversary.
Wow. Man,
Yeah. They would, if God would have let them live, it'd have been 57 years today.
Oh man. Praise God for
Real
that,
talk.
though. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But man,
Real
I mean,
talk.
yeah, Doc,
Real
y'all
talk.
say, yeah, I mean, like I said, y'all took us in as family. I mean, it was just that moment when he was there, regardless, when he found out that we went to review, or he remembered one of us from, he was like, hey, my boys, what's going on? How y'all doing?
He used to see he used to see all the Vickers and Meat First, 7-Eleven. Y'all be like, that's J. Keenan. Fired up. Real talk. Real
That's it,
talk.
man.
That's
Like I
good,
say,
Doc. That's good.
and I mean, you going away to college at Ole Miss. For us, we watched the games because we wanted to see Jimmy Kane. How did the whole piece go for you?
That double nickel, man. That 55. You got to understand, I was the fifth child.
Right.
Born on the fifth day. I took Interstate 55 to get to Highway 6 to go to Mississippi. There's a lot of things about that 55 a lot of people don't understand.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I say, you at Ole Miss and you getting accustomed to what's going on. Now people don't understand being at Riverview and us having them 9 buildings. That made us better ready for college than people understood, man.
Well, let me expound on the education tip. You got to remember, Riverview prepped me to be what I was at Ole Miss as a student athlete. Okay,
right.
Because I had honors English, I had honors math, I had preparatory classes at Riverview back in the 80s that prepared me for college. So when I got to college, I just wasn't naive about reports and what we got to do and your study habits.
Yes,
because
sir.
Riverview has already laid, once again, the blueprint of what is supposed to happen to you on your next phase of your life. Life comes in phases and transitions. If you don't adhere to the transition and the phases, you may fall back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But if you have the strong backbone of a family structure to keep moving you forward, because you cannot drive your car
in reverse,
looking in the rearview mirror. You can't. You're going to crash. You're going to crash. You just glance at your rearview mirror, right?
Yes, sir.
But you don't drive.
Yes, sir.
So once again, it was the family background, Cecil. It all goes back to the structure, Doc.
And like I said, man, I mean that structure, I mean, it's so amazing because
It's
you know,
deep. It's deep.
you know, but back then also they put a stigma on us that we couldn't learn, we wasn't learning, but
Exactly.
we was
You gotta
graduating
remember,
going to college.
but you got to remember in 1984 when I got the Ole Miss, Herschel Walker and Bo came out in 85, 86, 87 that they could not read or write.
Yeah.
And you in college? So what have y'all been doing for the last years you was in here?
See.
So therefore, we had to go to class. Coach Brewer, God rest his soul, Coach Billy Brewer, said, oh, when he came to 10220 Viscount Drive, James will graduate. All of my people gonna graduate. I don't care if it take them 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. We here at the University of Mississippi, we're gonna graduate our athletes. They're not just gonna play football. So therefore, if that little lambskin I got on Hidden Lake right now, woo woo woo, ain't nobody, and will not nobody be able to take that from me.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. And that was part of the lesson you told us too, is that it ain't about football. You got to learn and get out of here a degree with your high school diploma so you can get you a degree.
Well, Mama taught us, you gotta have mother wit. That means you can't do that dumb stuff because your mother and father distilled in you basic principle values. You can't run across 367 blindfold. Guess what's gonna happen? You eventually gonna get hit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, like I say, so being at the coach, so at Ole Miss, what were some of the things that you had to run across being away from home?
Well, the loneliness of missing your parents when you were a freshman, the loneliness of missing your girlfriend, Demetra, just the loneliness, because you got to remember, you're going into an environment, you don't know none of these people, and then the people know you, right? So you have to get out there and learn. The first 6 months of my freshman year, I didn't have my car there.
Right.
And John Henry said, no, you're going to learn that campus before you start driving. And then when I went back in January, early February, I brought my car there.
Okay.
So that was a learned behavior that I had to understand. Once again, Daddy dropped me back to the basics. You're going to walk wherever you need to go. But when you're on a campus like we had at Ole Miss, you could walk everywhere because classes was 15, 20 minutes apart. And if you get late to a class because you had to walk across the campus, the professors understood the walk that you had to endure, right? So there was no problem with that. But you have to get engaged. Even as a freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior, you still have to be engaged in your studies. Because without your studies, I wouldn't be in the position I am today.
Right. So now playing football, the people you came across in playing football, did you what happened to like you said, being under the Herschel Walker and the Bowden coming out and they were ahead of you, but playing against them or meeting with some of these athletes who later on became in the NFL? How those connections? Are you having those connections still?
Well, we had maybe 8 or 9 guys out of my class, 84, went on to be NFL players, which are still great guys. You got to remember, they're still people.
Right.
Although their bank account got a lot more zeros than what we have, they're still basic people and they're still basic athletes and basic classmates and basic friends and basic woo woo woo, basic woo woo woo, where they come from in life, right? One of my closest friends that just died last winter, Freddie Joe Nunn, was drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals, first round draft choice out of Ole Miss in 1985. Love him dearly. Was a great person. He never changed. Freddie Joe always gave back to Ole Miss. Barry Wilburn, that was the MVP of the Washington Redskins when the quarterback, the first black quarterback.
Doug Williams.
Barry Wilburn had 2 interceptions. Doug Williams, right? Out of Grambling.
Yeah.
Barry Wilburn, when I first went into my first SEC game in 1984, I'm looking at Freddie Joe. I'm looking at Barry Wilburn. I'm looking at Joe Nathan Shelley. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in a huddle with these seniors. And I had to call the huddle as the nose guard. Man, how you think I felt? I was on a different level of a level to be on a different level.
Yes, sir.
But as
Yes,
you
sir.
look back on that, we lost one of our teammates, Chucky Mullins. He died of a spinal cord injury after my last year playing. He got hurt that last fall. So every year we have a reunion uh, for Chucky Mullins uh, based on his injury on the field. And my dad called me and said, that could have been you.
Mm.
Yeah, any given play,
Yes,
it can
sir.
be us.
Yes, sir.
And we all seen
Yes, sir.
how athletes get hurt on the field, but football injury, you could be done in one play with your life,
Yeah.
not just football.
Right.
Take the ball out of it.
Right.
It's about being a person in life, right?